Hello children, how are you? I hope you all are fit and fine and also are taking of rest at your home and little bit studying now. Okay, so let's start the new topic of the chapter 4, materials, metals and non-metals. And in the previous video classes we have studied about the chemical properties of metals. Is the reaction of nonmetals with halogens, with acids, with hydrogen, displacement reaction of nonmetals and with oxygen. So let's differentiate on the basis of chemical property both metals and non-metals. So here is the one flow chart you are seeing here. So on the basis of this flow chart, let's start this comparison. Okay. So in this first property, reaction with oxygen, already I have told you that metals when react with oxygen they always form basic oxides, and when non-metals react with oxygen they all form acidic or neutral oxides. Okay, so nature of their oxide will be the nature of the metallic oxide will be basic always, and the nature of the non-metallic oxide will be always acidic or neutral. Reaction with water. So children, active metals, some most reactive metals like sodium, potassium, magnesium, they react with water violently, but the ability or the tendency of metals to react with water is also different. For example, some metals react with water vigorously, some react with boiling water, some react with steam, some react with even cold water, and some doesn't react with water. Okay, so here non-metals do not react with water under normal condition. They need a proper condition, proper catalyst, proper heat and temperature to react with water. Now reaction with acids. So active reactive metals react like sodium, zinc, magnesium displaces hydrogen from acid because they have the tendency to lose their electrons to make positive ion, that is called cations. And less reactive metal like copper, silver do not displace hydrogen from the acid, so they do not react with acid. But non-metals also do not displace hydrogen from the acid as they are act as a oxidizing agent. Yes, of course they are taking the electrons, they have the tendency to take the electrons to form the negative ions, that is called anions. Now comes to this one, reaction with alkali. Zinc, aluminum react with hot solution of alkalis liberating hydrogen gas, but the reaction with non-metals, here, certain metals such as zinc, aluminum react with hot solution of alkali liberating hydrogen gas, but the reaction of non-metals with alkalis are very complex that you will study in your higher classes. So metals, some very reactive metals react with alkalis to liberate hydrogen gases. Displacement reaction. So displacement reaction also, here we can see that in displacement reaction the most reactive element displace the least reactive element from its salt solution. So in metals also more reactive metal displace the least reactive metal from its salt solution and form its own salt solution. Here in non-metals also you have seen that some more reactive non-metals displace the least reactive nonmetals from its salt solution and make its own salt solution. So this is the chemical comparison between metals and non-metals. Okay, so this you should remember. And on the basis of physical property also you can differentiate on the basis of their different properties like ductility, malleability, sonority or conductivity. On the basis of that physical properties you can also differentiate metals and non-metals, which I will give you as a note also. Now let's come to page number 74 and oxides of metals and non-metals. So here also once again it is given the properties or the nature of oxides of metals and non-metals. Both metals and non-metals react with oxygen present in the air to form oxides. So children, when metals react with oxygen they form metallic oxide, when non-metals react with oxygen they form non-metallic oxides. The oxide of metal and non-metal differ in their properties. What are their difference? Yes, of course, I know that you are also knowing that metals when react with oxygen, they form always and always basic oxide, which turns red litmus into blue. And whenever non-metals react with oxygen, they form the non-metallic oxides, which will always either neutral or acidic in nature. Acidic non-metallic oxide turns blue litmus into red. So here the oxides of metals. The oxide of metals are generally basic in nature. When dissolved in water, metal oxide give alkaline solution which turn red litmus blue. Children, alkali, what do you mean by alkali? As you have already studied in class 7 that all bases are not alkali, but all alkali are bases. Alkali means those bases which dissolve in water. Okay, those dissolve in water. So whenever metals react with water, they form basic oxide, and when they dissolve in water, they give alkaline or basic solution which turn red litmus into blue, because bases have the tendency to turn red litmus into blue, as you already have seen the litmus paper red and blue both in your junior class in class 7. For example, magnesium burn in air to give magnesium oxide, and when this magnesium oxide dissolve in water, it gives magnesium hydroxide, MgOH2. MgOH whole 2, sorry. So, and it is always basic in nature. So here you can see the reaction Mg plus O2 gives MgO, and when MgO reacts with water, it forms MgOH whole 2. Okay, so that is basic in nature, as magnesium is metal, and when it reacts with oxygen, it forms metallic oxide, and when it dissolves, this metallic oxide dissolved in water, it forms metallic hydroxide. Now comes to oxide of nonmetals. The oxide of nonmetals are generally acidic in nature, but sometimes it is neutral also. When dissolved in water, nonmetals oxides give acidic solution which turn blue litmus red. For example, sulfur on burning in air gives sulfur dioxide, which is acidic in nature. So children, here you can see when sulfur burn in oxygen, it gives sulfur dioxide, and when sulfur dioxide dissolved in water, it gives sulfurous acid, H2SO3. Okay, so I think you better understand the reaction of oxygen with metals and non-metals. Here are some practice questions for you. So I think you can easily identify among these which are metals, which are basic oxide, and which are acidic oxide. Now comes to page number 75. Uses of some common metals. Main use of some common metals are listed below. Iron, mainly used for making bridges, engine parts, iron sheet and bars used in construction, steels, etc. Copper, for making electrical wires, cables, utensils, kettles, coins, for making alloys. Silver, for making jewelry in electroplating, photography and silvering of mirrors. Electroplating means the coating of metals over another thing. For example, you have generally have seen the coating of silver sheet on sweets and the biscuits or any food items, foodstuffs. So that is the electroplating actually, and it is also used to done in some other metal to prevent the rusting. Gold, for making jewelry, decorative purposes, in photography of toning, for toning. Gold is used for in the process of photography also to make the picture more glazy, more shinier. Mercury, used in thermometers and barometers, and these are actually the instrument for measuring the temperature, thermometer and barometers, and in both these instruments mercury is used as a thermometric liquid, Aluminium, for making electrical wires, cables, domestic utensils, alloys, metallic paints. Aluminium foil, for packaging. So aluminium, the uses of aluminium are these. Lead, for making automobile batteries, lead pipes, alloys such as solder, protective screen for X-ray machine, for manufacturing many chemical compounds and paints. Lead is used. Not only this much metals, but there are so many uses of metals, of other metals also. So in this class maybe in questions it will be asked that please describe the use of copper or iron or gold or mercury. Any of the metal, use of metals can become. So you have to learn all these things. Now let's study about the uses of some common non-metals. So children, some common use of non-metals: carbon as a diamond. You know that carbon is found in two compound in a free state, that is a diamond, or in the form of coal and in the form of graphite also. So it is used for making jewelry, cutting and grinding equipment. It is the hardest substance known in the world. As graphite, it is used for making black lead of pencil and high temperature crucibles. It is also used as a graphite electrode in the cell or a battery. Now sulfur, for the manufacturing of gunpowder, sulfuric acid in vulcanization of rubber, phosphorus for the manufacturing of matchstick, rat poison, phosphoric acid and fertilizers, oxygen, supporter of combustion for respiration by living organism. Oxygen is used as a supporter of combustion for respiration by living organism. Nitrogen for manufacturing ammonia, nitric acid, etc. Chlorine for bleaching, sterilizing water, manufacturing chlorine compounds. As a hydrogen as a fuel in oxygen hydrogen flame, used in welding for manufacturing ammonia, hydrogen chloride, vegetables ghee by hydrogenation of oil as a reducing agent. Iodine for preparing iodized common salt, tincture of iodine, it is used as an antiseptic. So children, these all are the uses of non-metals, but not only this much, but some other non-metals are also having lots of uses. But in this class you have to learn all these things, because any use of any non-metals can come in the exam. So let's start the oral question of this chapter. So let's begin the oral questions. The first one is, which of the oxide of nitrogen is acidic? So children, there are, I think so, 3 oxides of nitrogen which is acidic. That is the dinitrogen trioxide, nitrogen dioxide, dinitrogen pentoxide. These all are acidic nitrogen oxide. Name a metal that act as a reducing agent. So a non-metal that act as a reducing agent, that you can write here carbon as well as hydrogen also. Okay, carbon and hydrogen both are correct. Name the hydride of nitrogen. Is it acidic, basic or neutral? So hydride, when nitrogen react with hydrogen, it forms ammonia, that is NH3, and it is always basic in nature. Basic in nature, NH3 basic in nature. What is the nature of oxide of phosphorus? The oxide of phosphorus is always having acidic nature. Name a metal, a salt of which is added to the common salt. Name a non-metal. So you can write here chlorine. Chlorine is the non-metal which salt is added to the common salt. So I think so this chapter is finished. Children, if any query you have, any problem, any doubt, you can ask me anytime during the day and during the afternoon. I am always ready to give your answer, and I am also sending some notes along with this chapter video. So you write all these notes in your any of your home rough copy, and after getting that copy you can paste the pages to the fair copy. Okay, so in the next classes we will start the new chapter. So thank you, have a nice day.